Why can't you just get over it? Have you been asked that one a few times? Hey, this is Todd. Welcome to the Thrive Singles Podcast. Whether you're single again or still single, stop hating being single and learn to thrive. And welcome. Welcome to this week's Thrive Singles Podcast. I'm so glad you took the time to listen in, and a huge thank you to all of you who have subscribed to the podcast or the Thrive Singles blog. And if you haven't subscribed yet, you can still do so and get your free ebook at thrivesingles.com. So how many times have people told you to just get over it? I'm not going to wait for you to answer. That number would probably take a while to tabulate. Like I said 2 weeks ago, I got over a lot of my issues as a single person, but of course, there are some things I just never got over. First off, I'd like to tell everyone who's telling everyone else to get over it, to get over it. There are no instant cures for most of this stuff. Some things take more than a simple admonishment to get over it, to get over it. So 2 weeks ago, I did that podcast episode about the things I did right while I was single. In that episode, I said I would talk to you later about some of the dumb things I did while I was single. Well, toward that end, this week I want to admit to a few things I never quite got over while I was a single. On some of them, I did make some progress, but I never completely got over them. Like physical touch. I will freely admit I've always been a touchy-feely type of person. One of the things I missed the most after my divorce was kissing, hugging, and just touching in general. Bed can be a big, empty place when you sleep in it alone, night after night, year after year, with no one else in it to kiss or cuddle with or otherwise touch. I tried several things, like an extra pillow to hug helped some. In fact, I know of quite a few singles who bought those huge body pillows just for that. And they told me it helped, at least to some degree. Some things I couldn't try because of my apartment, for instance, like having a pet. Owning and more specifically petting a dog has proven health benefits. It measurably lowers your heart rate, lowers your blood pressure, decreases your stress hormones, increases your relaxation hormones, and decreases your risk of cardiovascular diseases, just like when you touch another person. But both of those things can only help so much. Petting your dog is good for you and for the dog, but it's not quite the same as holding your spouse. I never got over that desire to have someone next to me. I think that most of us probably have this need, and it's an innate need. Another thing would be jealousy. And I hate to admit it, but I never got over being jealous. Every time someone got married or even engaged, as happy as I was for them, I still felt jealous. If it was a woman I knew, I would think, oh man, that's one less option for me. And if it was a man I knew, I would always wonder if, maybe God loved him a little more than he loved me. So don't get me wrong, I genuinely was happy for them, but I was still jealous. I knew better, it wasn't right, it wasn't helpful, but honestly, I was still jealous. This was especially true when it was someone who had not been single very long, the kind of people I talked about last week who make it look so easy. And the only advice I have here is to just love the people around you. Be happy for them. And never give up on that hope. Because if you really desire to get married, you more likely than not will eventually get your turn. If you have any advice on getting over jealousy, please share it in the comments section. I know I'm not the only one who's struggled with that. Okay, what about sex? Where do I even begin with this one? I've written about my struggles with my sex drive in several Thrive Singles blog posts. Be sure to go check out a few of those. The thing is that sex is something we're all hardwired to seek after. And for those of us who were married and then became single, there's this huge void in our life. Something important that we really enjoyed is now missing. So yeah, All the years I was single again, I never completely got over missing sex. But, and this is an important but, I never let that urge drive me to marry too quickly or get into some sexual dating relationship or some one-night stand. Like I said about the desire for touch, it's an innate need. I'm not sure that we were meant to ever get over our sex drive. I think it's more a matter of keeping a taut rein on it and not letting it get us into trouble. Did I let it get me into trouble? Thank God, no. But did I ever get over it? No, not even close. How about marriage? Marriage is, as many wedding vows begin, an honorable estate. It's also an estate to which the overwhelming majority of us still aspire. I know the numbers have shifted significantly, especially among millennials, but within a marriage is still the best place to raise children, the only place God not only allows but encourages sex, and the place where studies show that the most frequent and most satisfying sex takes place. I was so happy when I finally got married. I was the last one in my little group to get married, so I was really happy about that. And then I was so miserably heartbroken when I got divorced. Even with the heartbreak of a marriage ending, I never completely lost the desire to be married. Well, let me walk that back a little bit. That's not entirely true. I did lose it for a period of time immediately after the divorce. But it came back, and it got stronger as time went on. Like I wrote about touch and sex, for most people, I don't think the desire to get married ever completely goes away. There are exceptions, of course. Some people have weaker sex drives, not as much of a need for touch, and they're completely comfortable in their single lifestyle. But I think that they're the exception, not the rule. So no, I never got over my desire to get married, but I don't see that as a bad thing. The key is not to be so obsessed with the idea of marriage that you let that desire drive you to make hasty and bad decisions. In fact, that's the key when it comes to touch, sex, and marriage. These are things that you probably shouldn't ever completely get over. These are God-given urges that are present in most healthy people. But never let those urges drive you to do stupid things. I've seen way too many single people let those desires get them into trouble. In pursuit of touch, sex, and marriage, they got in a rush, let down their guard, and they lowered their standards. They ended up in relationships they regret, doing things they regret. If you're like me and are prone to jealousy, you really need to work hard toward getting over that. On the other hand, if you can't get over your desire for touch, sex, or marriage, that's okay. In fact, it's normal. Just don't let your urges drive you to do dumb things. So what about you? I'd love to continue this conversation in the comments. Let me know what you're struggling with and what you've gotten over. And hey, don't forget to head over to thrivesingles.com, check out all the blog posts you've missed, and be sure to subscribe so you never miss another one. Plus, I'll send you my free ebook. Till next time, thrive on. I hope you enjoyed this week's podcast. See you next week. Till then, be sure to subscribe and go check out my extensive archive of past posts at thrivesingles.com. And thrive on.
Whoa, thrive. Yeah, come alive. There's more to life. You gotta grow, you gotta thrive. Whoa, whoa, you gotta thrive. There's more to life than to just survive.